Hello. Oh my gosh, we're already in day 5 of the amazing author spotlights featuring all the amazing women writers of the Cinderella Monologues coming to you very soon on October 22nd, 2022. I am so delighted to be here with you and to help you get to know each of our amazing, courageous, brave women who poured their hearts out onto the pages of the Cinderella Monologues. And today I'm such a fan. Such a fan of our next author that we're going to bring up on screen today. Her name is Katy Maag, and more about her in just a few minutes. But we'll talk more about her chapter title. Her chapter title is called "Seasoned with Wise Cracks." So we'll have to find out from her what that title means. And for all of you who are watching and tuning in and following us along on this journey of meeting the authors of the Cinderella Monologues, we'd love for you to imagine, Cinderella as older and wiser woman. What might that look like? And what her journey would have been like. How might Cinderella be seasoned herself? So, and I invite you to chat with us, engage with us in the comments, and let us know your thoughts and ideas and feelings about a much older, wiser, more refined Cinderella. So without further ado, please help me welcome Katy Maag onto the screen. Hi, Katy. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And it looks like you just stepped off of your profile picture. Like, are you wearing the same shirt?
I am. I got home from work and I just flipped something on quick. I'm like, oh, it's clean. That's good.
Well, it's a beautiful color on you. I love that color.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So I've got to ask, while we introduce you, what's one boring fact about you that you can share with us?
I go to bed early because I get up with the chickens. I don't know. That's true. 9, 10. Sometimes I make it to midnight, but I still wake up at 4 for some crazy reason. I guess I'm afraid I'm gonna miss the best parts of the day.
Well, that's awesome. You get to see the sunrise at least.
Most days, yes. Love it. Love the sunset too.
That's wonderful. Wonderful. Well, like I said earlier, I'm such a huge fan of you. I'm so thrilled that we got to meet this year through so many different channels and circles. And so a little background story, I met Katy through AATH, the Association for Applied Therapeutic Humor. And since that meeting, we're both in the Humor Academy. We're both in the same cohort, going through this 3-year certification program as humor professionals. And then even from there, like we just hit it off and we've been very much immersed in each other's circles, right? We're doing a lot of projects together. We're both in the 10K trainer with Dr. Lynn Perel. So big shout out to Dr. Lynn. We are also in many book compilations, not just this one, Cinderella Monologues. You've been a guest on my show, They Get You Happy On. And you've worked with me on LinkedIn. So we've just been each other's circles. And I really love that because I love being around your energy.
Oh, thank you, Olivia. I like you too. You're just so sweet. And oh my gosh, I'm like, I'm always happy too. And I love your glasses.
Thank you. If you're wondering if she has glasses in every color, I do. To match my question. Awesome. And, beyond all that you do, it's just incredible the career that you've built. I mean, you have really put yourself through school, getting advanced degrees in nursing, and you work in heart health, right? You're very passionate about educating others about having healthy hearts and cardiac health, and you work with a lot of cardiac patients too.
Correct. I do work cardiac rehab. I love it. I love when the patients first come in and you can kind of gauge where they are. Are they scared? Are they nervous? Are they thinking this is BS? I love helping them progress through their journey of getting themselves in better wellness and being more content in life and taking reins. I've been a nurse for so many years. It used to be whatever the doctor said. Now it's the patient's responsible for their own health and happiness, to be honest. And it kind of coincides with how I've used humor since I was a very little kid. And I do stress management with my patients. And I also am a certified stress management coach besides. And I love that. I love seeing that one. It clicks. Because sometimes people don't realize just some of the simple things and it clicks. I laugh because I tell people, I said, with stress, even if you're not involved in a conversation and someone's behind you and they're complaining, your cortisol level, your stress will go up without even. However, when you laugh, people laugh with you and their cortisol level goes down because they're happier. So it's kind of give or take, a yin and a yang.
A yin and a yang, definitely.
Yin and
And I love how you titled your chapter in the Cinderella Monologues, Seasoned with Wisecracks. What is the idea behind that particular chapter title?
yang. Well, I am seasoned because everybody will say, "Oh, you're getting old." I'm not getting old. I'm getting seasoned because old has a connotation. You're going to throw this shit out, and I got so much to do yet. I'm just seasoned. So it's like Teflon. Got to keep on rolling. Got to keep on going. I got stuff to do. I got things to go to. I got to spread the joy and stress management, of course, right now because most people need that. But no, I mean, I used to be very quiet and reserved. I told this story when I was in high school. I was very quiet and reserved, and you could have said crap to me, and I would have been, not no more, not no more. I'm not afraid. Probably in 1995, I was a nurse of hope, so I had to give talks, and I have to laugh because one of my talks, I was giving the talk, and the patient, or it wasn't a patient, the guy was so excited because he was older, and it was an older group, and I was talking about cancer and what to look for and stuff. And he bends over to his buddy, and this is one of the rules of presenting: know your audience, right? He bends over, he says, "I sure hope she shuts up soon because I'm hungry and I want to play cards." It's been about 25 years. I've never forgot it. So when they get that look in their face, I know, wrap her up. So
Indeed, indeed. Awesome. So we opened up the discussion with, imagining Cinderella as more seasoned, mature, more refined. How does that sit with you? Like, have you imagined Cinderella as an older person?
well, Cinderella is not just a younger person. Think of how many people have not come to themselves or come to what they really need to be doing or lighting their own fire in this world until they got older. And why? What was holding them back, or what was their roadblock? What was their reason why not? Did they not want to? Did they not think they were worthy? I mean, there's so many in that I could keep talking on that. I think we all have a story, to be honest. This Cinderella monologue was very interesting to me. Some of the things I put on there, I kept going, oh, I could really elaborate more on that. Or, I mean, I've been a caregiver since I was very, very young, very, very young. And caregiving's a huge part of our population right now. I'm in the sandwich generation, which means I have the younger and the older. Love it. It's great. God has a purpose for me. I actually, if you notice, I have a square necklace and it's got triangles on it. It looks like a gift because every day is a gift. It's the present. You get to pick how you want to unwrap it. Do you want to unwrap it gingerly and take it like, oh, I don't know? Or are you going to unwrap it like a 3-year-old on Christmas Day and hoping for the best? Woo! It's the way life is. You get to choose. You can choose to be miserable. You can choose to keep making people miserable, or you can choose to make them better or help them. I mean, we get a choice. Every day is a choice.
Oh, I love that. Oh my gosh, that is so on point, Katie. Every day is a gift. How do you unwrap it? It's up to you.
Yep.
Wow, that's awesome. But if you are
But
more
it's
meditative quality, maybe you are gingerly opening it up.
yeah.
Maybe if you're, shy and timid, you're hesitant to open it up because you're
I'm
trying to
afraid to open the box, you got the dead rat in there,
Because I can imagine, there are some people who may be more like on the analytical side or just questioning side, and they're trying to figure it out, right? Even before they open it, like what does it smell
Yep.
like? Shaking it, trying to guess what's inside,
Yep.
rather than just be surprised.
You get to pick how you want to open it. Every day's a gift. Every day's a present. That's why they call it the present. Every day's a gift. Never going to have it again. You're never going to live it again. It's you pick how you want to run it. How do you want to live it? you know.
That's wonderful. Awesome. Awesome.
That's
So I know that you shared, parts of your chapter during this writing process with your sons. You've got two sons. Were
yeah.
Did they comment about how much attention they were getting in the chapters?
Well, they did. My older son was, well, I laugh because I tell everybody my oldest son was 1 pound and 12 ounces. He's my $1 million because, girl, if you ever had a baby that's that small and have that many things, they are $1 million. And my second's 1 in 1 million. Oi, 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 oi. He's the one that's going to drive me to drink. I'll be honest with you. And he's the one I let him read the chapter. The older one wouldn't understand it or understand my chapter. And the younger one looked at me. He says, well, I get a paragraph and he gets a page and a half. What in the world? I'm like, dude, I didn't want to start on your chapter because I would never finish. I'm telling you. He's the one that keeps me on my toes. He's a very good kid. He is a go-getter. And sometimes I wonder where he gets that. We just found out he actually, he's an Eagle Scout. And I have to laugh because he told the story about, he has to go against the board and the board says, whoa, what was it working with younger kids? And he's like, well, keeping them on track. And they said, well, what's it like working, with the older adults? He's like, have you worked with my mom? Seriously, you will do it. You will finish. You will complete it. So I kind of laughed about that. And then we just found out he is an FFA, or Future Farmers of America, and got his American degree. So it's like, this kid is he's just an interesting character. He's just wonderful. He's just, and he's learning. He's 20. So, they're always learning too. I tell him life's a lesson. Pick how you're going to choose it. You're going to make mistakes. We all do. Even at my age, I make mistakes.
So many of these stories that you're sharing, you've already written about in another way on your blog. And so talk a little bit about your blog, and then also just the fact that you've been writing, and this is just like another big step for you.
It is. I actually started writing a blog, Katy with a Y, because why not? And of course, my younger one's like, well, that's so long. Nobody's going to find it. And da, 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 da. And I talk about growing up, and I had all brothers and all male cousins. And I have to laugh because my next story basically is going to be about when I was younger. I just prayed and I wanted to be like the other boys and pee when I was standing up. Now I'm seasoned and I'm thinking, Jesus, just let me not pee till I'm not standing up. So total opposite of what I wanted, Any woman out there can understand that. Sorry. But I'm also, I've been friends with Ella and his wife. I was friends with them for 23 years, and he's like a dad. And I'll be honest, he is a joy to, I call him every day. So he's like a dad to me. But he's so appreciative of just the time. And he even told me, he's like, you know what, if it wasn't you, I wouldn't have anybody I would be spending any kind of time with. And he likes to shop. He likes to go to consignment shops.
Well,
Whatever. But somehow I find the most interesting things.
Well, I just love on your blog, you talk about Bob and like he's at Walmart and comparing like the prices and the pounds and the stickers and why it's so misleading.
It is. It's funny. And he's like, well, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, do you need that? I'll buy it for you. Nope. Yesterday, Monday, he has a sore on his leg and a sore on his back. And we've been doctoring it. This was on Monday. And I went over there and I got off work and I only had a little bit of time because my husband's farming. So I had to get home to take care of my older son. And I had to laugh because sometimes I feel like, oh, because his stepson says, well, sometimes you badger him. Well, sometimes somebody needs to badger him because he won't take good care of himself. And so I kind of was feeling that on Monday, but I, checked his, changed the Band-Aids and stuff like that. And I honestly, he got these hearing aids on an auction and they can sync with your phone. Okay. So when I first get there, an hour and a half later, we sunk it to his phone, and his ex-wife, his wife passed away 2 years ago, her phone. Okay. Well, we couldn't get it to work right, but we kind of got it to work right, but not well enough. Okay, fine. So I'm like thinking, oh, he's just upset, frustrated, whatever. But you know what? He was so happy and so appreciative to have somebody to spend time with. He was in there singing in the bathroom. And I'm like, when he come out, I said, well, what were you singing about? He's like, I don't know. I was singing. I'm like, you were, and it was a happy tune. It wasn't, oh God, it was because he had somebody to do something with. It's a little bit of my time. Honest it is. But what I learned from him and get to talk to him and learn about his life, if you don't do that with your elderly friends and family, you're missing out. I have some wonderful, amazing people I've been friends with for a long time, and my friendship doesn't cost. It does, you're my friend. I don't care if you're poor. I don't care if you're rich. It don't matter to me. I'm going to like you. I like you. If I don't like you, I usually tolerate you, but now some of my friends are probably going to say, I wonder if she's tolerating me. Just kidding. Some of the people I haven't seen for like 30 years. Like one of my friends I used to work with years ago at a carryout, and oh my God, that was the best job. We had so much flipping fun. I mean, we didn't get paid well, but we had fun. We didn't make fun of people or anything. We, capped around with each other and had fun, laughed. And I had 2 people within the last 2 months that ran into me and they're like, you know how much fun we used to have? I'm like, yeah, I love that job. So I'm like thinking, I wonder if I'm the soul, the common denominator to that story to everybody. Maybe. I don't know. It's all good, right?
Now we know you've got to tolerate less.
I gotta tolerate.
less. But
I don't like
love
you. You will know.
I
There's
love
not too many people that rub me wrong. Seriously, there's been a few, and it's kind of odd because my grandma was part Indian, and I have dreams and premonitions and stuff like that. And I never knew my son had them until he read my book or my part of my chapter in this book, and he's like, "Oh, you have them too." I said, "Yeah, why?" He's like, "I have them at times." I said, "Okay." I said, "Very interesting," but he honestly, he's more like me than I care to say sometimes. I mean, he's a good kid, but, yeah, I was kinda surprised, and we were talking about it, and he's like, "Oh," and I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "It's kinda weird that we have those." I'm like, "Yeah, sometimes." I said, "One time I had a dream about somebody, and not a dream about somebody went past me, and the hair on the back of my neck stuck up," and I'm like, what in the world? Well, here I found out that person, this was out and about in the general population. Here that person had murdered somebody. I'm like, okay, I must have knew something or something must have told me something because I was like,
your antenna, right? The antenna was
my
up.
antenna was up.
High alert. Wow. Wow, wow,
It
wow.
was, it was, it, it's just weird. It's just odd, but anyway, odds are us.
Um,
Seasoned. I'm seasoned.
seasons
What's all the white rats?
I love that you spend time with older patients, right? And I think, that is the one thing our elderly population does miss out on, just the connection and the belonging. So this is great.
Correct.
Spend time, like try to seek them out. Spend time with your seasoned friends.
Yep.
Not elderly friends, seasoned friends.
The seasoned friends, they have a lot to say, they really do, and they have some interesting stories and, you know, s and sometimes they just wanna be heard too, honest, they just wanna be heard, they just wanna know that somebody gives a flying fig that they're okay, I mean, it's alright. I have a lot of older patients. Actually, in the small community I live in, they just started the the Putnam County Council on Aging just started a program where people can volunteer to be a friend to a senior and spend a little time with them, which is actually amazing. If I had a little more time, I'd probably do a little more, but I can only I can only take care of so many people at one time. But, it's hard to say no. But I'm pretty sure I know I was that kid that no matter who you sat me next to in school, I got in trouble when I was sitting out in the hallway. I tell you what, being in that hallway, I learned a lot of stuff.
I bet you did. Indeed, indeed. And I think that's what I love so much too about our Cinderella Monologues collection of stories is that it features such a wide range of voices and ages and backgrounds. I mean, we've got
Yes.
young and old and everything in between.
Yep. We have a lot of survivors on many different levels, whether it be physical or emotional or family issues or traveled. And the stories I've heard and some of the things I've read already are just amazing. I can't wait to, honestly, I can't wait to get the book and read it from start to finish, which I'm pretty sure will be that weekend will be start to finish because I want to. I've got to hear bits and parts of everybody, and it's just amazing. Some of the amazing ladies, and they are like Cinderella. You think about Cinderella worked hard. She kind of knew where she wanted to go, but not really. She wasn't sure, but she didn't give up. She still did what she had to do. Like my Cinderella story, you do what you have to do to finish what you needed to do, and you keep on going. Kind of my motto, isn't it, I guess?
It is.
You're just seasoned. You just keep doing it, and you just let the Teflon roll and keep on going. Yeah. You
I
hope
love
it's Teflon because sometimes that crap flakes off, and then anyway, then it's gonna get stuck like your eggs. Sorry.
that. You always have such, the best wisecracks, right? So
I gotta tell you, I was raised by my grandparents somewhat, and oh my gosh, my grandma, I have to laugh because my grandpa had a stroke at an early age, and she would tell him, "Come on in." She was gonna give him a bath or whatever, and she said, "Come on in," said the spider to the fly. And then he would walk around when we were younger and say, a kitten, a pup, and a kitten, a kitten, a pup, and pup all went all around with their tail sticking up. Then he would say, a kitten, a pup, and a pup all went around with their tail sticking down. I think that might have been code for something else, but I don't want to know. Well, they're both gone now, so it don't matter. But got to make your
awesome.
own entertainment sometimes, I think.
Amuse yourself. Yep. Just amuse
Yep.
yourself. Exactly. Um, I also want to touch upon a little bit about maybe some advice you have for future writers, because I think sometimes people may be hesitant to join a writing program or join a book project because they're like, well, I don't know, like I'm not a writer, right? And
Oh,
but you,
girl.
for example, you were writing a blog. So,
Yep.
you wrote a blog and did
I've
that
been
and
writing
did
a
that
blog.
help? Yeah, did that help with this project? And then also, what advice would you give for people maybe considering some other book projects in the future?
Oh,
To
do
why
it.
not
Why
use it?
not? I mean, what's the worst that's gonna happen? Oh, we ain't gonna read it. I mean, that's the worst thing that's gonna happen. I think honest, for me doing this book was a lot of what do I put, what do I don't put? My story is probably not even an eighth of my story. It just has a couple highlights, not a lot. But here's the thing, everybody has a story. You look at somebody, they have a story. They have something that molds them and shapes them and whatever in their life, and you don't know what's going on. And I always tell my younger son, be nice to everybody. You don't know what's behind their closed doors. Honest, you don't. You don't know what they're dealing with at home. You don't know, you know, uh, they could be in some really bad situation and you don't know. So, and we all have that own, when you go home, nobody knows what's behind those closed doors. We all can be nice and good with company. Am I got my company face on or am I just being real? I'm just usually kind of real. Sorry.
I gotta
But
know
it
what
is. It's honest. I'm not a writer. I tell the story in the book how I almost failed, or I didn't think I had passed high school. I failed English. Oh my gosh. The English teacher had my brother
fail
first, and he
English.
wasn't a good student. Huh?
How did you even fail English? We speak it.
Oh, girl, I still can't write English. Grammarly is my friend, and then I'm not quite sure if it's right because it's like, "That don't make sense," it's anyway. It's not my strong suit, it really is not. Well, I did one of those 5, your big 5 things, and mine's like coaching, empathy, brainstorming, humor, and there was 5, I don't know the last one, but the 5 those 4 like stood out, and I'm like, "Really? I don't okay." Caregiving was one of them too. I'm like, man, okay, we'll roll with it for now.
That should be a strength, just rolling with it, right? Going
Yeah,
with the
just roll with
flow.
it.
I
Just
think
yeah,
things can change so instantly on a dime, and you've shown yourself to be so flexible, especially with the caregiving and with Bob, right? Like things happen in the last at the last minute, and you're able to just roll with it and adapt and flow. And that
yep.
takes, that takes real character too, I think, Katie.
Oh, thank you. Well, my older son's special needs. So I think, like my mom had mental issues. So I was her caregiver first. And then I went to school and worked multiple jobs when I was younger. And then when I got married and had Mason, then he was my full-time job and I worked and I helped take care of my mom somewhat, but not as much. So, but honest, with Mason, it's all a matter of picking your heart, you know, as a mom or a parent or whatever, when somebody's pulling your leg and they honestly can do more. That was a conversation with another special need mom the other day, and we were laughing about it because her daughter, we were in the equestrian therapy, and the daughter looked at her and she just dropped the Kleenex down and looked at her mom. She went in to ride the horse, and I looked at her mom and I said, well, you going to be doing that for the rest of her life? And she says, what? I said, you going to do that the rest of her life? And she's like, well, somebody has to. I said, well, did you see that she looked at you? She knew she did that. So she knew what you were capable of doing for her. Oh. She kind of changed and, yeah, she let her put her own shoes on. Yeah, she put them on the wrong feet right away. Mason the same way, but they learn. They learn what you expect of them. Seriously. If they expect you to be their caregiver for the rest of their life, guess what? They're going to let you. So we're going to take care. Look at Queen Elizabeth. Shoot, she didn't even make her own bed ever in her lifetime. Could you imagine rolling out and be made? No, in my luck, I'd be halfway out and somebody make the bed. I'd trip and fall anyway. It'd be an accident waiting to happen. Apparently, I'm
Awesome.
not royalty, so it's good yet.
You're not royalty yet.
Not yet. I'll be in the
Not
Cinderella
yet.
monologues. Does Cinderella get to be a queen? I'll have to look that up.
I think in
Been
your
a few
version
years
she
since I read
does.
that. Huh?
I think in your
She did,
version.
didn't she?
Well, no, in your version, yes. In your version, she is, yes. And that's you,
She is.
right?
Yeah.
Cinderella is you.
I'm a queen.
You
I'm
are.
bossy. Oh, good.
I want to go back to that point you just said about, Grammarly is your best friend, like, English was not your favorite subject in school, etc. But you still got your story out. And the beauty of being in a book project is that we have an editing team. Ta-da!
Yes.
So it's
Yes.
okay if you're not coming into this with like a PhD in writing.
Yeah. No.
You can put your thoughts on
Or
paper and have someone else edit.
yes. And the editors did an amazing job. I don't know how they kind of conveyed what I was thinking or getting around to, but they did a phenomenal job. If you ever or if anybody's out there ever able to contribute or be part of a book, do it. Why not? I mean, I don't know. I'd like to do my whole life story. Well, not my whole life story, but somewhat of one, I guess. Maybe.
Your sons alone will fill the whole book.
Huh? Oh,
The sons
yeah,
alone
trust
will
me.
fill the whole book.
I laugh. I tell them the one's $1 million and the other one's $1 million. Oof. I tell you, they are. Ooh-wee. I broke my foot in February, and we were at the AATH in Florida. And at my age, I done failed kindergarten because I was waiting for the person come get me. They kept telling me, go down to the exit 30. I went down 3 times. The second time, their boss called and said, hey, just grab an Uber, blah, blah, blah. He was cussing at me. He's lucky I couldn't get to him, just saying. Anyway, so the third time, I go chomping down. I got this boot on my foot. It's 80-some degrees. I'm hot. I'm sweaty. I'm hangry because I didn't have no lunch. Besides, God love the guy who brought me out from the airport to the landing dock, didn't stop to go potty because he's like, oh, you said they're going to be right here. You'll be fine. Yeah, no. So I'm going down and forth from 21 to 30 with this boot, with my luggage, hot, sweaty, whatever, trying to just get to my hotel so I can go to the bathroom and eat something. Well, after the third time, I called him again or texted him. He's like, I had to leave and it's going to be 45 minutes. Get back down to the 21 exit and I'm standing there and the cops, pushing people aside. And here comes this big old black SUV. And the guy says, I'm an Uber driver. And I'm like, here. I think that poor man must have had a heart attack because I love my luggage in there and I got in there real quick and, my food in there. And he's like, where are you going? I told him, I said, where are we going? So we started going. I said, look, I don't know if you're an Uber driver or not, but, if you're going to kill me, just do it fast because, I'm not going to run away from you now. I said, if you got a candy bar, I'm going to give you a double tip, but he didn't have no candy bar. So but at 55 years of age, number one, I got in a strange vehicle without whatever. He didn't have no Uber sign. I didn't care. I guess it was my boiling point. Now my husband knows that story. Oh, unless he hears these. I might not be able to travel no more again. Sorry. It was all good. I was fine.
And let's talk a little bit about too how humor has helped you or has helped shaped you, right, in your profession and your family life as a caregiver.
Oh, it's helped a lot. You have to sometimes keep the humor, otherwise you're gonna lose your shy time. Seriously, sometimes you just need that release valve. It's the best. It is the best medicine. Honest, it lowers your blood pressure. It helps with mental. I've been stressed sometimes, and I'm like, hey, let me call you back. I got something missing. It's my phone in my hand. I'm like, oh my gosh. But it's amazing. I've been a laughter yoga teacher. Well, I was a leader first, and then I'm a teacher. I've done anywhere from a few people to 120 people is the most I've done in one setting. And it's amazing to see. The last time I did these ladies came to a previous one, and they come walking in, and they're like, "We are so excited to see you," and I'm like, "Oh, okay, good." They're like, we were in the last meeting, but loved it. We can't wait. Can you come see us more? Sure. But it helps you. I mean, humor is like a playing field. It lowers, you can't be mad at somebody after you've laughed with them. It really is really difficult, because you've released that extra energy of whatever. What else? It's good for your blood pressure. It's good for team building. It's good for mental, because you get more oxygen in your head. I can go on a long time about stress and laughter and talking. And anyway, I do stress management coaching. Monday's my talk and stress management with the patients on how it affects our body. And there's so many different effects you don't even think about. 75 to 90% of all family doctors' visits related to stress. Think about that. That's kind of, whether it be a GI upset, headache, whatever, pains, aches, whatever that you don't normally have. So
it leads back to stress.
The book is a nice, huh?
It leads back to stress.
It leads back to stress. Yeah. Yeah. Stress has so many, because acute stress is anything less than 2-3 weeks. Anything more than that, it starts wearing you down and starts taking a toll. So,
you see.
But the book was stressful at times because some of the things that I wrote about, it was like, well, some of them are like, oh, I forgot about that. Or I forgot about, oh.
You were telling me just now that there are parts that just came to you that could have been in the book.
Oh, a lot. There's a lot that I missed and didn't put in there. And I could tell about some of the shenanigans going with my cousins driving around and stuff. And
well, maybe that's where we'll have a sequel.
Oh, yes. There's a sequel. I might have to add some parts to it. Maybe.
Awesome.
But I laugh. I always tell everybody, I'm like, oh, I don't know. I'm kind of boring. And most people are like, no.
Well, something not boring is I just find it so admirable that you're so involved with like legislation. Like you want to go out there and be able to lobby for change, like right on Capitol Hill, regarding our seniors, regarding stress management and heart health.
Correct. Oh, yeah. Well, heart health is important because Heart disease kills 1 in every 34 seconds. Somebody in the United States dies from heart disease. It's the number one killer, not cancer like everybody thinks. It is heart. It is heart disease. It hits home for me because I had a grandpa that died of heart attack at 52 after open heart surgery. Both my brothers had stents by the time they were 40. My mom had a stroke at 43. I mean, hearts in my neighborhood. Why wouldn't they let me inherit money, not a heart? Yeah. Jeez. Guess you can't pick your relatives.
Awesome. This has been so wonderful talking to you again, Katy, and I just love connecting with you. And where do you see the future of Cinderella Monologues, right? So what do you feel this book will do for you now?
Oh my gosh. I think one thing I'm going to take it when I give talks and stuff like that and give it out as a, like a present to somebody. Here it is. Here's, you will be enlightened by some of the amazing stories of people that have overcome some difficulties or whatever, or we all have that Cinderella story. We really do. We all have something that's we've overcome or worked through or whatever. I hope to give more presentations, whether on the medical level or more corporations. They need it too right now. Everybody's stressed and all out of sorts, and just this the pandemic's done more for us than I think more people can understand. A lot of people are on their cell phones versus actually having a conversation with somebody. That's kind of going to the wayside, but people miss that. They need that physical reaction. They need that physical connection is what you need. I mean, it's one of the hierarchy needs. So I'm hoping to do more presentations. I love it. I love presenting. I love when it's the aha moment on people and you can see it. I have to laugh because the first time I did laughter yoga, I went and everybody's doing their laughter yoga and we got done. And I'm like, I was like astonished because after people did it, their faces looked younger because their underlying facial muscles relaxed. And I'm like, yes, the fountain of youth, here I come. Come on, Gertrude, here we go. We're getting this. I need this. Because I'm seasoned, but anyway, that's all right.
I love that. Laughter is the fountain of youth, for sure. Yes. So if you're watching this, write this down. There you go. That's a secret tip of the day. Laughter. Excellent. And I love what you said that, yes, you have a physical, tangible book that you can pass out at your speaking engagements, right? So how exciting that is, and giving more awareness to your story, and then also giving other people permission, right, to maybe identify and relate with some of the other women authors. So I think that's fabulous. And of course, I'll be seeing you at the AATH conference for our FaceTime in-person event. Yay! And we'll be signing our books there.
Come see us.
Can't wait to have that event with you at the conference. Our book signing table.
Either, Olivia. I love it. We'll be in the corner laughing, I'm pretty sure.
Well, we won't just have one book, we'll have two, right? So we're in the Cinderella Monologues, and then we'll also another compilation with Deborah Hollick, and she went off on her own and created this whole book series called Live Life in Wow, Wonder, Openness, and Wisdom. So both Katy and I will be in that too, and we'll be at the conference, so.
Me and Grammarly.
Grammarly will be there too. Awesome.
Grammarly, yes, Grammarly. Sorry, Grammarly. Maybe I need money for this. I'm just kidding.
Well, thank you, Katy. It's been such a joy to have your bright, sunny personality here. So many, wonderful seasoned lessons sprinkled in with wisecracks. I love it. And for all of you watching, thank you so much for joining us. And please go and read Katy's blog, right? So read her blog, get a little bit of her, insights, and then you'll be prepared for the Cinderella Monologues and read her chapter, Seasoned with Wisecracks. And then also invite you to connect with her on LinkedIn. So this is her profile right here. And then, of course, Katy's business is KM Wellness Consulting, and that's on Facebook. So go ahead and give her a follow over there as well, too. So thank you again, Katy, for your time today. And we'll see you all next time for another Author Spotlight.
All right. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Get the book. It's wonderful. No glass slipper needed.
No glass slipper needed. Yes.